Mario is so great. I wonder if they're ever going to make a movie about him. Oh no, that was terrible. Man, Mario's been out for years and he only had one crappy movie. I wonder if they're ever going to try again. Oh my god, this is so much better. Welcome back to the Calvin Rock Show. I am joined once again by co-host, co-founder, amazing human being, over to the left of me. Would you like to introduce yourself again, sir?
This is Eric Hehateme702 from the Vegas Benchwarmers. Make sure you follow us on all social media and check us out with Sam
You'll love
Saturday
it.
11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific
As we learned in the
on YouTube.
last episode, I don't know time difference. I don't know time zones. I think
We
daylight
need
savings is dumb.
they need to get rid of time zones, okay? It's not 1800. We have the internet. There's no more time zones.
Yeah.
We all know what time it is.
But as you can tell, if you're watching this on YouTube with both of our hats, we're not talking about a video game. We're talking about a video game movie. We both recently rewatched the Mario Bros. Movie made by Illumination. What, that come out last year?
Yep.
Came out
Yep.
in 2022. And as a gamer
No,
myself,
Abe, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. April 5th, 2023.
all right, so it
It
came out
seems like
earlier
last year.
this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, it was so long ago already. Damn.
It was.
Came out
Yeah.
earlier this year, and it's, you know what? I'm gonna let you start with this. Your mouth has already dropped. What have you found?
I don't know because can never be true with YouTube. But all of a sudden, I just saw this thing that said Super Mario Brothers 2, 2025 teaser trailer, and then
Oh,
it said YouTube Slurp. So I was like, never mind.
nah. But they already did
Yeah,
announce that there is a second Mario movie. You know,
yeah, of
in the
course. That's
works.
what made they had to because of how amazing this movie
It really
was.
was, considering that they bought a movie studio before this game. The game. That's how you know I'm not ready. How like great this movie was before it even came out.
I when immediately when it was announced and they showed the first what was it first pictures of it,
The
and I think
pictures
the
with the voice
trending topic.
actors.
Yeah, and I think the trending topic was Mario and the lack of his butt on social media at one point in time.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was a little skeptical just because I was like, I'm old enough to remember the original Super
Yeah.
Mario's movie. I saw that in theaters, okay? I remember that piece of shit movie with Dennis Hopkins. But I was skeptical, very, very skeptical. But the more I saw of it, the more excited I got because of the Easter eggs, the way that they showed it. I was also a little withdrawn at first because maybe they showed all the good stuff in the trailer.
Yeah.
But I was like, I was like, we're seeing it as soon as it's released. There have been very few movies I have gone to see in the theater in the last 3 to 4 years. I could probably count them on one hand, and I was there opening day for that one.
You're
Yes,
there for.
loved
Well,
it.
that's how Mario is such an icon. Before we really get going into this, because I know we're going to talk about some story plots too. Spoiler warning. I know probably everyone has seen this, but I know also people will kill me. Spoiler warning. We will be going in depth with some parts of the movie that will lead to story. So just want to give the heads up now. If you don't want to be spoiled, go watch the movie, come back, and then you can join in on the conversation. But I need to just talk about the big. There was an elephant in the room before the movie even came out. Chris Pratt and Charlie Day as Mario and Luigi. They did not have the Italian accent, and it worked. It worked for them because they made it like kind of a thing within like the first few seconds of the movie with that commercial where like they did like, oh, did we lean too heavy on the Italian accent, and then they get to talk normal. Now it was a little weird though because Charlie Day has a very unique voice, and it's like, oh, that's not Luigi, that's Charlie Day.
Honestly, I forgot who was playing them. I'm not even gonna
You
lie.
got into it.
I knew Chris Pratt was playing him. I know who Charlie Day is. I have it up. But I don't. I didn't. I'm not. I didn't care about the voice as much to me. Because again, I have seen a bad Super Mario movie.
Yeah,
I've
with
seen one.
Bob Hopkins,
Yeah,
right?
I've seen. Yeah, exactly. I've seen one. And then I also the commercial is from the Super Mario Brother TV show from
Yep.
when I was a kid. So I had seen multiple actions with the accent, and It didn't bother me. I honestly never even picked up on it because I was just so enthralled with the movie. I kind of forget he's an Italian plumber sometimes. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you know what's funny too is in the games he's not really a plumber anymore. He's a handyman.
Yeah.
But I like that they went back with the plumbing roots for the movie, and like we could go this like as they introduce people too. Like we could start really going into the movie, but like in the beginning, like they're really trying to sell you on the plumbing aspect of them, and like really go back to what he was as a plumber, him and Luigi.
Well, that's because that's the only thing that really makes sense to set up how they got down to that tube. Because in all actuality, they would have they would have had to be a drain. That
Yeah.
it just made to go back. A handyman, yes, but if you're gonna go with the handyman and he's gonna do something plumbing, you might as well go back to the roots, which they threw, which it with the commercial,
Yep.
that commercial, it immediately set the tone for, hey, we're going backwards. We're
We're
gonna
going
show you a
backwards.
whole
We're
bunch of stuff.
plumbers.
Yes,
And now, as
and
we
it
go,
makes more sense in the
as we
story.
go forward,
Makes
hopefully he sticks as a plumber. Like that's kind
yes.
of what he was.
Well, I don't even care.
I don't
I
think it
don't
really
care if he
matters
starts
what his
fixing
occupation
cars. I
is.
don't give a damn. By now, Mario's been to other planets, so he's an astronaut. I don't even care. But for the introduction, I just think that was a great homage to a lot of people that were taking their kids to see this movie.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that was a great homage to my age group. I loved it. Yeah.
And they
But
had
again,
so
I didn't
many
even
great
recognize the
homages.
Italian voices.
As a nerdy person myself, the main antagonist in Brooklyn for the Mario Bros was the guy from Wrecking Crew, who they butted heads with because they were kind of similar and they were like kind of based off of that game of Wrecking Crew, and like all those like subtle Nintendo references that were in there, like the Punch Out Pizzeria, that was such a great game. And even in the immediate opening, I don't know if you noticed this, but I'm a fucking nerd, so I noticed it. When they're like, "Oh, what do you think of the commercial?" The guy playing the original Donkey Kong machine was actually the voice of
Yeah.
Mario and Luigi in the game.
I did not know that, but I knew that. Well, I thought he was playing the Jumpman.
Yeah, it's called Donkey Kong.
Yeah, because I said my son, the one in college, he's like that, and I was like, oh, he's playing the original dog. He's like, he's playing Jumpman, Dad. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry,
Yes, he's playing
but yeah,
Jumpman, but it is called Donkey Kong. But
he was pointing all that stuff out.
that was actually the voice of Mario and Luigi in the game, Charles Martinet, in the beginning, praising Mario and Luigi for the commercial, like kind of being like,
I
"Oh,
didn't, yeah.
great."
I didn't even know that. Yeah, see, you learn something new every day. I had no clue that was him.
He actually had another role in there too, with playing Mario and Luigi's father.
Oh, okay.
He was
I
the
did
voice.
like how they family. I loved how they included that
Yes,
because
the family was
even
perfect.
though they didn't have the accent, but that's an Italian thing, the family.
Yes.
So I loved how they included that. I mean, yeah.
I loved all the references. Like even before they get to the Mushroom Kingdom, the mayor of Brooklyn was Pauline. For those who don't know who Pauline
Yes,
is,
yes,
the original person that Mario was rescuing.
yes. I did.
I
I
loved
did.
it.
I loved. I didn't know that was the original person she was rescuing. I just know her from Super Smash Bros.
Pauline was not in Smash Bros. Oh yeah, she was, but
Yes, she
she's
is.
from mainly Super Mario Odyssey now.
Yeah. I've seen her in Super Smash Bros. That's the only way I know her.
Yes.
There's a lot
So
of people I only know from that game.
before we even get to the Mushroom Kingdom, there's one part of the movie I do want to talk about because for me personally, it felt more Illumination than it felt Nintendo. And that was when Mario and Luigi were fixing that rich couple's bathroom and the dog was trying to fight them.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
felt like more of like the movie studio trying to remember who they are. And I'm like, they're doing the potty humor, like it's funny, but it's like that's not Nintendo. That's the studio. That you gave me a Minions moment, and I don't like that.
I understand that part, and I get what you're saying there, but I also understand from a psychological point of why what they were doing
Oh,
there. Because
absolutely.
when you go back, Luigi is scared of the damn dog,
Yep.
and Mario's the one that's ready to take on the world. So I think what they were doing was that was the first. They kept building Mario's courage up. Basically, because with the wrecking guy, and
Yes.
then so they kept building that courage up, and you saw that towards the movie. So I think they were just kind of giving.
It was definitely
I
a
get
way
what
for
you're
them
saying.
because
Yeah, but
some people
a
might not
fun
know
way.
Luigi has the personality in the family. Because let's look at it, Mario's perfect at like kind of everything. Luigi's scared. And that
Exactly.
makes him more of an interesting character. Why people like Luigi more.
And I think that's what they were doing. They were building the characters in, like you said, a fun Illumination way.
Yes, that was
Because
an
it does,
illumination
yeah,
moment. Being that I'm the nerdy person, I already knew who they were. I was like, I don't like the illumination part, but I get it. It was to show
yeah,
people who don't understand it as much, like what Luigi and Mario are supposed to be their dynamic. It is a great
exactly.
way to show them.
Especially for parents that just got dragged there by the kids that don't really pay attention to the games.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I did. But I did. That was. I do love Bowser. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, so we'll get to Bowser once we
Yes.
get over to the Mushroom Kingdom. But let's, what did you think about the way they got there? Like, wouldn't you love, like, so for, if, the way they did it was Brooklyn was flooding and Mario and Luigi like, oh, we could fix, well, Mario's like, we could fix that. And Luigi's like, okay. And then they go flying into a warp paper, like, what is this? And then they just get, boom, sucked right in there. I
That
would love to
kind
see
of.
that in the games, that freaking pipe
I don't.
sword. No, you don't want that one?
I don't. I no. I don't care if we see that in the game, but that immediately reminded me of like an action hero movie, like an Arnold Schwarzenegger or Stallone movie, where somehow they're the only guy that knows what's going on, and
Yeah.
everybody else doesn't, and they're gonna go fix it. So, but of course, I think there's gonna be a movie, a game based off the movie. I would have loved. I would have just loved. I would have loved for when they got sucked down for them to just go into the pipe.
Instead of
I
getting
don't.
forcefully dragged.
Yeah, I did not. That kind of. I don't know why. Maybe because I like the movie Land of the Lost, and that's what kind of happens in that movie where they
Yeah.
get sucked down in that. I think that would have been a perfect thing. To me, just you walking next into a green pipe is just fucking stupid. Okay? You go down there. It's obviously sealed off. Nobody's been down there for years. You say this. And then you turn around and walk into one fucking funny color looking pipe. No, no, that made no sense. Okay, so maybe if y'all just got sucked down, like where one of y'all got sucked into the pipe, and then the other one kind of like held something like that. I don't know. That I would have liked that better than just the we're gonna get sucked down to a sewer and somehow
But as we know, they get separated. Mario
Yep.
ends up in the Mushroom Kingdom, and Luigi ends up in the Darklands.
I love that.
Oh yeah, I loved that too. I think that was phenomenal idea.
Okay, so why do you think it was a phenomenal idea?
Well, first of all, it helps Peach's character because she's not
Okay,
just a damsel in distress anymore. She gets to show why she is such a great character. It
okay,
shows off a lot of Luigi's personality too, because again, he's the scaredy cat, he's the frayed one. So
yep,
to be in, they made the dry bones first of all look scary as hell, and they made that perfect. Like the way they did that to show like more of Luigi's personality too, and make him kind of the captured to be like, oh, he's kind of the fraidy cat, but he still also has moments of like being brave too, which they do later in the the movie. But like this is just a great beginning because it still feeds off the he's a scaredy cat.
okay. So originally, I immediately loved it. There's two things that I like. I do like what you said about them allowing to have Peach
Yeah.
be more of a badass. Because of the fact that would have been Luigi's character, so instead they're kind of rescuing the kingdom and Luigi. But this is why I like it even more. Because as you guys can see, I'm wearing a player one hat, and I grew up with Mario. And most of the time, who did we play as? Who do most people play as? Mario. Where's Luigi most of the fucking time? We don't know. He's missing because he's not playing. So if you're a one player person, that was just a cool thing to me because normally all of your games are focused on Mario and there's no Luigi. So much so that they've made games with just Luigi. I think it was Luigi's Mansion without
Luigi's
Mario.
Mansion and Mario is missing.
Yes, so they've made games for that fact because other people wanted to explore that side of him. So I think by them allowing him to go missing, you see most of it from Mario's point of view as like a player one. It allowed, I think that was a great idea because it allowed the character development of both of the other two, Luigi and Peach, like you said. But it
Yeah.
also got to show the natural element of the other area without it being forcefully put there. Do you see what I'm saying? Then they also got to show some of those other characters that we'll get into later.
Yeah, so we'll pick up with Mario real quick. He gets launched into the Mushroom Kingdom and is met by Toad, voiced by Keegan Michael Key, and I loved it. I loved
I
it.
do
Like
too.
he did a great job as Toad, and just the confidence that Toad has. Just he was phenomenal, and even helping Mario get to Peach's castle, like the way he distracts the guards to get him through the door,
Yep.
phenomenal, just phenomenal.
By cooking,
By
right?
cooking,
Cooking.
yes. He's
Okay,
literally like, I'm
so
gonna cook you guys a meal. Go, Mario, go.
I do love, yes, I do love that. I do love that. I love Mike Keegan
Keegan
Peele.
Michael
I
Key.
love him. Yeah, I love him. I've loved him since Key and Peele. Toad was one of the funniest characters to me
Yes.
because he kind of reminds me of what I always thought Toad would be like a small little feisty ass guy. Because he was always in all the games. It seemed like and it just seemed like he'd be that guy to me. Like whenever you got to the castle, Toad was there. Nope, I'm
Yeah, apparently
sorry.
he's brave enough to get to the end of the castle. Your
That's what I'm
princess is in
saying.
another castle. Why are you here?
So yes, now I do love that line in there that when Mario goes, "Oh, the princess is not the castle." I love that
Yeah,
line
that's a great
when they
line.
got to there. Yes, but I thought it was a great all around performance by Toad. I think they did great development of
Toad
him. I
was
yes,
phenomenal. And when he
he
gets them to the Mushroom Kingdom, I gotta say, it looks amazing. A lot of design flaws. I feel like OSHA might have some issues with the way the
yes
Mushroom City's built, but
yes
it was so amazing. Like to see all the floating platforms and like the falling bricks.
yeah.
It's like, oh my god, I remember flying on those. I hate those bricks, but they look amazing here.
It was great. It was all of it was visually stunning.
Oh, it absolutely was. And then Mario, then we get the introduction for Peach. And they, first of all, Peach, they made her so much tougher than I think any of the games ever could. And I hope that's a trend for the future for her as a character. Because in the new Mario Wonder game she's playable, she's getting her own game again where it's not based off of her emotions. Like, she gets to be the front and center attention of a badass again. And I hope that like this movie is what starts it for her because her voice actress, what, Anna Joy Nicole, I think her name is.
Anna Taylor Joy or whatever. Yeah,
Damn it. But she did phenomenal, I think, as Peach. She made the character, I feel, more alive personally for me, than any of the games could.
oh, I loved all. First of all, I think all the voice characters did good.
I will mention
Um,
the one when we get there.
I don't mind. I don't mind Peach. I'm not. I would say I like the character development. I just have some fucking questions. Okay,
Go for it.
and none of this makes sense. Who the fuck taught her how to fight like that?
Yeah, that is a good point. Who
Okay,
the
so
who's
that that
teaching her?
that who the fuck built that? Who is building that obstacle course for her to go through?
Yeah.
Okay,
Also, why'd
stop
they
it.
make it floating?
What they were watching too much of The Witcher when they built that. So I like the badass part, but I may be in the minority. But I love because she's in a lot of the games and they're making her more of a take charge type of person. I have no problem with that. But how did all of this shit come together? Like you show her as a baby, and next thing you know, this bitch knows karate.
Well, also,
And
she comes as a baby, and then all the toads are like, "That's our princess."
And so that's those type of things that kind of bothered me when I was sitting there and I was like, wait, hold on. So you came as a baby with a binky in your mouth, and all of a sudden you just know how to whoop everybody's ass? Who taught you that? I don't see nobody knowing karate. Like maybe they could have made her a little older,
Yeah,
and maybe like her dad was something like that would
some
have
sort of
made it
explanation.
because
What did Mr. Miyagi show up? Wax
yeah,
on,
that's what I'm
wax off.
saying.
I'm out of here.
Because I'm just questioning what's going on. I mean, maybe if she'd got raised by the penguins, I don't know. But I'm just questioning the whole time what is going on because I don't know what they saw in you to make them their leader. But when you came through, you were maybe because you were the tallest one. I don't know.
Could be.
But I just
Could be.
that was that kind of with her that kind of gave me a drawback. I'm a very big person on character and storyline. And that just took me out because once I found out that I was like, wait, how did you learn? I get what you're doing. You want to make her a badass, but now the story doesn't fit because who showed her?
None of
Where's the wise
they showed
guy?
that none of the toads are able to do that to begin with.
So what was she watching? So that's what I'm saying. So and immediately when I saw the obstacle course, I don't know if you ever watched The Witcher,
No, I
but
haven't
I
watched The Witcher,
immediately
but I was like,
that's a
did you bring a
great
DVD
show.
of American Ninja Warrior with you?
No, but no. So in the movie The Witcher, Surrey, that's one of their trials. They have a Witcher obstacle course like that. So and Surrey runs it, and it takes her forever to figure it out. So and then she said she did it on the first try.
Yeah.
So okay, that I was like, okay, I need you guys to venture off into another story, and I need to know how she became this badass.
We need to know. Can we get a prequel to see this?
Exactly. I need to know what happened. How did she grow up? Because From what I'm looking at, I don't see anybody teaching her this. I don't see Anderson Silva walking through here anytime soon.
But we do get to see Mario train through it. But while he's doing that, I want to jump to now. As you mentioned, you loved Bowser. Jack Black did an amazing job because we got to talk about. First of all, we skipped over the beginning scene of him invading the penguins, which was,
Yes.
I think, hilarious by
Yes.
far. Just the penguins trying to fight Bowser with snowballs, and then just that one ice block hitting the random Koopa Troopa. Phenomenal
Yes.
scene. But Jack Black did a great job.
Immediately with the opening scene, when we rewatched it back, my wife immediately said, after the opening scene, goes, wait, I understand it's ice, but he can blow that whole thing down with very little fire, and somehow Mario beats his ass? I was like, shut up. Nobody asked you that right now. Okay? Nobody cares. Don't make me think about that shit right now, okay?
Well, I mean, Mario also, Bowser has bad floor design. Like, even in the first game, the way to beat him was jump over him, grab an axe, and the
or
bridge
run
falls out?
or run under him.
Yeah.
That was it. So yeah, and I think that's the thing was I immediately recognized that he's a big, strong, powerful guy that is fucking stupid. And they've literally showed you that throughout the whole entire time when he wanted to get with Peach.
Yeah. Like, he was very narrow-minded with that. But there's one particular part I want to talk about as they're trying to show, like, Bowser partying that they got the superstar.
Yes.
Shy Guy took off his mask and ended up killing a few people who saw what was under the mask.
Okay.
If you remember seeing that. Because I looked directly at that and I was like, oh my god, the Shy Guy took off his mask and everyone is freaking out.
Yes. That is Quentin pointed that out to me originally. I didn't get the reference to it. So I didn't know what it was like. Has he ever taken off his mask
He has
before?
never taken off the mask.
Oh.
So no one knows what's underneath.
It could be another mask.
It could be. But whatever it was, it freaked out the Goomba, the Koopa Troopa, and whoever else was looking.
I love the way they did all those characters, by the way.
Oh, yes.
I
have
love
one question, though, about all that.
Yeah.
So when Bowser's like, oh, the ultimate plan is to marry Peach, and the Koopa Troopa's like, what? And he kills the Koopa Troopa, basically? Why is it when the Koopa Troopa dies, he gets gloves?
True.
Because remember, he wasn't wearing gloves, and then when he turned into dry bones, he has gloves.
Maybe that's part of being dead. Maybe you gotta get
gloves.
warm hands. Get warm hands, okay? Did they still have socks?
Yeah, they still had shoes.
Okay. Well, I know they have shoes, but they have socks.
I don't think they were wearing socks.
I gotta look this up now.
We'll have to look it up.
Because maybe that's what happened. Maybe the Koopa Trooper traded in the gloves for socks.
Well, no, Koopa Troopa wasn't wearing any gloves, but he might have been wearing socks.
Yeah, so if you... Oh, no, they're not wearing socks. Okay, they're not
so he
wearing
just
socks.
got gloves from dying. Maybe it's under their skin.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's how they... I don't know. Maybe that's how they do it. They look so much better than the Koopa Troopers from the fucking 1993 Mario Brothers movie. I don't know why they just showed me that. Oh my god, they look so much better. I'm sorry, I googled what they look like, and they're showing me stuff.
Now, as they're
Flashbacks.
going to, so remember the Peach.
Slime.
So now we're up to the part where Peach, Mario, and Toad are off to the Kong Island, and now here's where I get upset. My boy Yoshi's only scene in the movie was them running. That was the only scene he got.
Why do you need him to be seen though?
I want Yoshi in the story.
But he will be in the next one.
He will be, yes, because that was the end credit scene with the egg.
Yeah, he'll be in there. But remember, did they have a game called Yoshi's Island?
Yes, they did.
Okay, so I mean, I immediately thought that was reference to that game.
It looked like it was a Yoshi Island reference because they had all the
and they knew they were there, but I knew they were setting that up for the next one.
Yeah, that's
so that was
a later movie.
That to me, I didn't, and I know a lot of people were complaining about that. Did they? I know, but
a lot of people were upset that Yoshi was in one scene. I mean, you can see behind me. I'm
a
Yoshi guy.
But would you have rather would you, in my opinion, like I said, I thought they were going to set it up for another one. And now that I'm thinking about it, it'd be like, I would have rather waited for the new one, because you know he's going to be in completely, than for them to have rushed something, not had a proper meeting. We don't get a good backstory.
So this was my immediate reaction was, yeah, I'm upset when that happened. Now, when I got later down the movie, I was like, you know what? It works perfectly. You don't shoehorn in the main Yoshi. You let it work.
Exactly.
So I'm just going based off of my initial reaction for the review here, but later down the road, I was like, you know what? They did the right thing. Keep the story as is because they did it great. Now,
Yeah.
and then you work on his character later.
Exactly. So like originally, like I saw a lot of people's complained about that, and that's all I was originally thinking was, dude, I get what they're doing. Like I
Yeah.
thought that was smart. That was an Easter egg, very similar to like this the first time we met Bowser. Yoshi wasn't in any of the first games.
No, he was not.
So I mean that just makes perfect sense.
He get
So like
give him a proper introduction.
And that's what you want, and that's another thing that I liked about this. One thing that I was a little skeptical about was I did not want them to cram in a whole bunch of people just to cram them in.
No, if they did cram it in, it was like they didn't have the biggest effect on the story.
No, and if they need, and it was used in a needed way, so
Yes.
they left out a lot of people that you're probably going to introduce into way later.
Like Rosalie
But
is
I
definitely
mean,
going to be later down the road. Daisy is
exactly,
going to
and
be
we know
later
that
down the
by this.
road.
They mentioned Diddy Kong very quickly, so we know we'll hear more about him
Yeah,
possibly
because
later on down the road.
as we're getting ready for the next part, they get to
Yeah.
Kong Island. They said Diddy Kong, Funky Kong,
Yep.
Lanky Kong. Like they
The
still
Girl
show him.
Kong.
Dixie.
Yep.
They
Yep.
showed him,
Dixie. Yep.
but
Yeah.
they didn't have that big of an effect on the story just yet.
But I don't think, and they didn't need to, and that's what I think was great about Yoshi was because you did not need him to be in
He's
this
not
part of
there
the story.
yet. He's not there
Yes,
yet.
and just including him may have lessened his impact in the story.
Now we got to talk about the Kongs because this is where I'm like, this took me out of the character for a minute. Mario fights to get the Kong army to help, and then he has to fight Donkey Kong, and then bam, freaking Seth Rogen just shows up. Not really Donkey Kong.
What are you talking about?
It's Seth
Okay,
Rogen, not Donkey
that
Kong.
was first of all, I hate Seth Rogen. Okay, I think Seth Rogen is a horrible actor, except when he does voice acting. I thought that was a perfect representation of a teenage Donkey Kong.
Every time I see Donkey Kong now, I just like pot cookie.
Yeah, but so that was like because as soon as they showed the dad, I imagined that Donkey Kong was going to be the ruler. But when they showed the dad, I was like, okay, so Donkey Kong, and then he came in, he's like, I was like, he's a teenager, makes fucking sense now. Again, I didn't even know who any of these people were. I had no clue that Seth Rogen was the voice of him.
I saw Seth Rogen the entire time. I just saw Seth
But
Rogen.
the thing that didn't bother me as much was because of the way that they did the fight scene.
Oh my god,
I
yes. That
loved
fight
it.
between Mario and Donkey Kong was amazing.
The power ups, the way he got beat down, the mini mushroom. We all hate that mushroom.
Yes,
I
and
don't.
then
Do we?
the cat power up.
Freaking amazing, amazing, because he was so quick, like a feline.
Yes.
That was. I loved everything about it. I loved all of the little because it literally felt like I was watching Super Smash.
Yeah, it really did. Like minus the
It
cat
did.
power, but like that. I feel like that's what it was. It was Super Smash Brothers right there.
Yes, yes. And I mean, I don't. I'm drawing a blank, but there was no. He didn't have like a final smash,
No final smash. Literally, it was just
which is good.
he
Yeah,
used the cat suit and punched him straight through the bricks, and he was out.
that's right. Okay,
And
that's
then
right. I
what
remember.
makes it even better, which I loved, Donkey Kong doesn't just be like, "Oh, Mario, you were such a strong fighter." No, he
Yeah.
hates Mario the whole time, and I
Yes,
love that
yes,
because that's what it
yes.
was. Donkey Kong and Mario never really got along.
Yes, and again, yes, he was childish and immature, but I think it worked for like the 17, 18-year-old Donkey Kong.
Yes,
That's
I didn't care about the immature thing, but Seth Rogen has such a distinguished voice for me. I'm like, that's
I
just
do.
Seth
I
Rogen.
normally, like I said, I normally hate Seth Rogen, except for when he does voice acting.
Yeah, I was like, that's Seth Rogen. But
Yeah.
so I mean, like after the Kongs, they make it to Rainbow Road with the carts. Like building the carts was so cool. That montage
Yes.
they did, and I gotta say, like that whole scene with Mario Kart, phenomenal. And I loved the blue shell turtle. They gave him wings, which was beautiful.
Yes. Yes. I also, speaking of the blue shell, you have that right there.
Yep, got my pillow.
I also I also loved how they switched the wheels
Yes.
to for later Mario Karts because that was not always in Mario Kart. That became later on, and I forgot which one it came when they
Mario
did
Kart
those wheels.
7 was the first one you could
Yeah.
start customizing.
So I also like how they jumped the track because that was like a shortcut.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, I loved everything. I loved everything they did. I'm gonna be 100% honest. From the moment that Kong showed up to the end of the Mario Kart scene, I was enthralled. I was like a
It
kid in a
was
candy store.
amazing, that entire like portion, like that's part of the movie was phenomenal because we
Yes.
even got a cut to the Luma. That
Yes.
Luma
Yes.
was hilarious.
Now explain to me why the Luma was so positively negative.
Because he was probably locked up for ages. Like, think about it. Like, being locked up in the cage, just be like, I'm ready for death now. Let me out. Let me be
Okay,
free.
because remember, Luma's part of Rosalina, right?
Yes.
Now remember, I love
You
Rosalina, but
love
I hate
Rosalina.
that she's it. So I've never really played it. I knew it was Luma. I was like, oh shit, we gonna get We're not gonna get Rosalina.
Not
Okay,
yet. Not yet.
okay. She's in the next one. I got that. I got that.
Eh.
I got that. Oh, I can't wait to see Rosalina. But I loved the Rainbow Road. I love the Blue Shell Kamikaze. I loved all of that with the chase scene and I loved how they rode the rocket from the donkey's cart from the cart.
Yep.
I love how they did. I loved it. It was good. It was so like they did this movie so well.
Like, it made me feel like I was playing Mario Kart right there. Like, just the
It
way they
did.
did that.
There were so many times that the movie bring you into its world, and you immediately got transferred back to. Maybe it's because everybody grew up playing so many of these games,
Yeah, they
but you
really did.
immediately were. They did. You. There were never a time where you were going, "What is this?" Like you immediately knew. Like immediately, you're like Rainbow Road. Oh my god! Immediately, as soon as they walk in the stage, smash! Let's go!
Yeah. Even the ends, like, when we start getting towards the climax now, Bowser's on the upper hand. He's got Peach. He's got Toad. He's got Luigi. He's got all the penguins. And then you just see Donkey Kong and Mario inside the whale, just like, oh my god, my dad's gonna think I'm a loser and all this stuff. Yeah, me too. He's like, well, I hope he does. And then just the way they blast out and just start going through everything, and you get to see Donkey Kong with the Fire Flower power up.
Yes,
Oh my
yes,
god, I just want to play as that now.
yes. That was so cool. Um. I mean, the whale,
The whale was
the
a little
whale
bit of a
part.
stretch.
Again, I mean, when we go back to the illumination part of shit,
That was definitely
yeah,
illumination.
yeah, definitely. That, but I mean, again, it kind of worked because they hated each other and they figured out they had to work together to
That
get
was
past.
that was
But
the
yeah,
illumination scene, like with the beginning, where it was like, all right, time to explain some stuff real quick. Illumination, use your storyboard, and then
yes,
back to Mario stuff, running through the Mushroom Kingdom, hitting Goombas, getting the power ups, like all that stuff.
yes, exactly, exactly. And then he gets a star. Or no, did he get the
No,
star? No,
so we
he got the
skipped a
star in the
bit.
fight.
We gotta get
Yeah,
to the Tanuki suit where
yeah,
Peach uses the ice flower. Yeah, the ice
yep.
flower. Uh,
To freeze Bowser.
the freeze Bowser, and then he sends a Bonsai Bill out.
Yep,
Someone sets off King Bomb, blowing up everyone basically at the wedding.
yep.
Like, that's one of those, like, he didn't affect the story. It was awesome to see him, and they used him in a funny way to just blow up.
And then the raccoon suit, the Tanuki suit.
Yes, to prevent it from going into the castle where he just tail whips the eye and is like, all right, I'm out. See ya.
And saves Luigi.
Saves Luigi.
Yep.
And then we end
Yeah,
up back in Brooklyn.
which again, I think this. I'm hoping this was like homage to the original Super Mario's. But why do we have to end up in Brooklyn?
Yeah, well, that I was definitely like that. I was like the Brooklyn, like why? Yeah, you're like why Brooklyn? Like it was literally the only reason why they had to do that was to get Mario the satisfaction of showing he could do it to everyone. Because remember, like when he was there, like it was like his father was disappointed, the Wrecking Crew guy was on his ass. Like it's
Yeah,
like they just wanted resolution for that before they could move on to like the other stuff.
but I think that would be the cool part of not having resolution because you have two totally different kingdoms. So when you're in America, the thing, you're just a normal person, and when you go back down here, you're a fucking superhero. For some odd reason, I am not a big fan of taking a parallel universe, which this is what this is in this
It
scenario,
is.
a parallel universe, and all in every movie we have to merge them into the real universe. I don't get it. That just doesn't make sense to. Can
Yeah.
we just live in Mario's world, please?
If they stayed in the Mushroom Kingdom and did the final battle there, like it would definitely make more sense. Because if you really think about it, too, I know my video froze, but if you can still hear me, we're good.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Um,
Yeah.
the issue really though, it's like, all right, you got the resolution you wanted in Brooklyn. They moved to the Mushroom Kingdom. What was the
That's what.
point?
Oh, we already knew they were gonna do that anyway. So you had to say goodbye to your mom or dad before you. No, why don't you just show another world? Because there's multiples of them.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just fixing the
No,
camera.
you're good. You're good. I didn't know if you
But
were
I'm
still there.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, that was weak. Like, why did we need to go to? We're good. Why did we have to go back to Brooklyn for you to do all that cool stuff? Like Luigi had his moment, that was awesome. But like, you guys live in the Mushroom Kingdom now.
Yeah.
There was no point.
Exactly. I don't. Yeah. And again, it's just part of that parallel universe where it seems like every one of these movies need to force a way to make it go into the real world,
Yeah, but then they
and
end
that
up in
kind of
the
took me out
Mushroom
of it.
Kingdom in that world, and that's where they stay.
And it also doesn't make any sense because, like, again, we don't need to go to that world. There's no reason. We're from now on. You're in the Mushroom Kingdom. You don't go back. I don't care about your damn family. You don't
The,
ever need to go
the
back. You're
beginning
from
worked
this point
well
on.
with Brooklyn because it set up everything. The
Yeah,
ending,
exactly.
going back to Brooklyn, kind of like you shoehorned in a resolution to just ignore it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So that's the problem. Like they did not. I get why they did it. I understand they had to have closure for their characters and all of that stuff. But guess what? Guess what, Mario? I'm sorry. I don't give a damn. Because guess what? If you come to Brooklyn, I'm still stopping you. I don't care if you save the Mushroom Kingdom. You ain't got power ups in the real world, buddy. Okay?
Well, he had the star in the real world, remember? So he could just bring
That's
the
right.
cat suit.
That's right. I forgot about that. I forgot about the damn star.
So there's one other topic.
What?
What's up?
How does that even work? How does that even work? I don't like that
Yeah,
crossover.
that made
Yeah,
no
that didn't even
sense. All
work.
right, two topics we got to talk about with the movie before we give our review, like our rating.
Yeah.
First, the hit song "Peaches" by Jack Black.
I absolutely cannot stand that song anymore.
It is overplayed.
It is horribly overplayed, and my wife fell in love with the song. But it was even way more overplayed for me. She knew every word to that song and would just randomly I could not would randomly start singing it. We'd be in the grocery store and she'd be like, babe, look, peaches, 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 peaches. I'm like, shut that up. So yeah.
And
So
then
yes.
great song, but it was overplayed. But we got to talk about the end credit scenes. There were two of them.
Okay.
Bowser being Mini, because remember he got the mini mushroom in
Yeah.
the cage.
Yes.
What did you think about that little slapstick there?
I thought it was kind of funny. But I think it's just a way to set up the second one.
Well, I feel like the second one was the other end credit scene with the Yoshi egg cracking in the
Well,
sewer.
I agree with that. But now you know that Bowser's still there.
Bowser's
You
still
know that
there.
he's not dead. You know he's in a cage. You know somehow he's gonna break out,
Bowser
and
Jr.
Yoshi's gonna help. Exactly, and Yoshi's gonna help him. So I like the idea. It reminded me of Tweety Bird. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but I like the idea because it's setting up. They had two. They gave you two things. They gave you Bowser. You know he's not done. You know, and at some point in time, this is going to be his vengeance. You ruined my wedding and put me in a cage.
With a
And then
tiny
they give you,
piano.
and then they give you Yoshi. So I think those were two great setups for the next one. And I think the main reason why they gave you Yoshi is so people like you would not be mad.
It was that, and honestly, it also goes to the theory that Bowser and Yoshi are related.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they because in Mario Party there's a hidden Easter egg if you do like the team play and you pick a Koopa Kid and Yoshi. It says it was like Dino Family or something like that, and it's like oh maybe they're related. Maybe that's why Yoshi can't go in the castles because Bowser will hate him for the betrayal.
Maybe. See, I didn't even know that. So there you go. I thought the Yoshi character was we're making a second one. Bowser, Bowser's still here.
Yep.
We're not introducing anybody else. Right now he's locked up, but we're gonna let him free at some and Yoshi's gonna be there to save the day. And Sam, there you go. You don't have to cry and write me an angry
Exactly.
letter.
I don't have to be upset. Yoshi is
That,
within the movie. He's gonna
that
be
might
there.
have been the last thing they put in production. They might have sent that off, and then they were like, people were like, Yoshi's not there. What the fuck? And they're like, oh,
Try
we gotta
again.
put
Try
something
again.
in there. Yeah. Because if I remember correctly, they just revealed him, right? It wasn't even like he was doing anything.
It was just him and an egg hatching.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
He wasn't really there. It was just the setup. So
Yeah, so
he's in the next one. That's pretty much what it
yeah,
is.
definitely.
Now, with everything we've just discussed, I will give you, because you're our lovely guest here, what is your rating for the Mario movie?
This one is hard.
Oh,
This
absolutely.
one is probably the hardest one for me to rate. And the reason why I say that is because if we were rating this on video game movies only, it would be a 10.
Yep.
It's the best video game movie I've ever seen. But the story, it's got a story as old as time.
Oh, absolutely.
Outsider from another world shows up, becomes the hero, the savior. So, I mean, it's a lot better than that 3 hour long Blue People movie.
What, the Smurfs? Avatar?
Avatar,
I don't
yeah,
know why I
it's a
thought the
lot longer.
Smurfs first when you said 3 hour
So
blue people movie. Like,
it's
that's
a lot
Avatar.
better than that. A lot better than that 3 hour Blue People movie that is based off the same storyline. So I would say I'll give it a solid 8.
So,
Solid 8 out of 10.
with the same criteria, video game movie, 10 out of 10. Best video game
Yep.
movie we had. When it comes to movie, I'm going to be a little stricter by 1 point and give it a 7 out of 10. I think, again, they reused a lot of cliche from the movies, but also the illumination moments in the movies. I get they were meant for character setup, but they also just, they kind of killed it a little bit. The beginning with the dog, which showed Mario and Luigi, it was great, but it killed it a little bit. The whale scene, that killed it a little bit. And definitely the ending scene where they're fighting in Brooklyn kind of killed it for me, which is why I think it's a 7 out of 10 for me.
Got you. Yeah, I definitely gave the Brooklyn. I gave it a lower grade due to the Brooklyn. Was that the same dog from Hotel for Dogs or Hotel for Pets?
No, what, Secret Life of Pets?
Yeah, was that the same dog for that
No,
guy? It looked like it.
it could have been.
Um, I definitely do not like the Brooklyn, like I said. But then again, I will also say I had to bump it up some because of that Peaches song. I know I said I hated the song, okay? But let's be honest. It's a video game movie that has a song that was made for the movie that was like on the charts.
Number,
Like,
what, it hit like number 10?
yeah, so it was huge. So that, when you have a song where, let's just say in 15 years, Sam, you're sitting there drinking some coffee and all of a sudden you hear peaches, 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 peaches. It's gonna immediately take you back to this song. So like Circle of Life with Lion
Yeah.
King,
Space Jam.
like Space Jam, the Frozen one,
Yeah. Let It
Let
Go.
It Go. Yeah. So there are certain songs. So normally, just by the story alone, I completely agree with you on that 7. But that song bumped it up to an 8 for me.
I could respect the song because it's a good
Yeah,
song.
just because you don't have that, and you don't have that ever for a video game movie.
You really
Jack
don't.
Black is amazing. He's amazing. And we know the story behind the song. Everybody's seen the story where he said, let me play with it, and he
He
created that
essentially also
masterpiece.
rickrolled us, so
Yes,
he used
yes,
the same like
yes.
beat, like rhythm to it.
That's okay.
Great
It's a
song.
catchy song. It's a very good song.
Let us know
So
what
yeah.
you think of the Mario movie. Down in the comments below, you could tweet at us on Twitter or X if you want to call it. Vegas Benchwarmers Podcast. Hehateme702 and Keldrock. Tweet on all of us. Instagram for us as well. TikTok for me. I know you don't really use it as much. Make sure to also catch us out Saturday at the Vegas Benchwarmers Podcast. We talk sports. We'll be talking sports movies. I'm not even going to try to figure out the time zone again because I already forgot. 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern. That's when we get rolling.
Oh.
Football season wraps up. We're going to be talking sports movies.
Yes, yes, we are. We definitely will, and we're gonna come up with the first one first. We'll tweet that out. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Anything else you got for us here before we wrap up?
Always a pleasure. Thank you for having me on, and everybody have fun tonight. Be safe. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Hey, You ready for some more reviews? We got some other games down the docket. We got to talk about some old Maddens one day.
I'm down. You know I'm down. You know, shoot me a link and we'll hook up. We'll make
We'll
it say
absolutely
work.
will. All right, everyone. We'll see you in the next one.